Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Friday, April 5th, Major League Baseball slate going on for you today. Just a reminder, if you're new to our show, we fade or follow four teams. That's going to be the Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and the Orioles. So we play in those games and with those teams, fade or follow, and then player props and so on and so forth with that. So we'll get into the first game of the day for us. It's going to be a 2:20 Eastern, 11:20 out here in Phoenix. Dodgers heading on the road against the Cubs. Bobby Miller, the flame-throwing right-hander youngster for the Dodgers, who had an excellent game out last time against Kyle Hendricks, who did not have such an excellent game the last time out. Cubs at home here. They did, after going 1-2 opening series, they swept the Rockies, which is what you're supposed to do to get the record to 4-2. The Dodgers at 7-2 obviously played the Seoul series, split that, took 3 out of 4 from the Cardinals, and then do what they're supposed to do and win another series, right? So they're loaded offensively. Pitching wise, you have to really get to them, I think, in the 4 and 5 holes, maybe even 3 holes. Maybe you can take advantage of Bobby Miller on a day or two. It's going to be hard to beat Glasnow. It's going to be hard. Yamamoto, I think, is going to struggle a little bit here and there. But when Glasnow's pitching, and majority of the time Bobby Miller pitching, should be some definite hard times on the opposing offense. That being said, though, we think the Cubs are going to come in strong here in this particular game. They hit the fastball extremely well. Suzuki, Morel have both hit the ball well, especially against the good fastball hitters. That's Bobby Miller's best pitch. So we will take the dog here. Cubs money line was about right around plus 150, plus 160, depending on where you look on that, as the Dodgers are about roughly $1.80, right around $1.80 favorite on that one there. So we did take Cubs money line, and then on the run line, we're going to take plus 1.5 runs, plus 2.5 runs, minus 1.5 runs, minus 2.5 runs on the run line. Cubs over their team total, and then Cubs plus a half a run, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Like we mentioned, Suzuki and Morel earlier. We're going to roll with those two guys for batting props here. Suzuki homer, Suzuki double, Suzuki over 1.5 total bases, and over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Christopher Morel, home run, double, over 1.5 total bases, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So one more time, let's go through those Cubs-Dodgers bets. Cubs money line. And on the run line, plus 1.5, plus 2.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.5. Cubs over the team total. Cubs plus a half a run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Suzuki, home run, double, over 1.5 total bases, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs combined. And if you're new to the show and you don't use DraftKings, that's where you're going to find normally that hits, runs, RBIs. Morel, home run, Morel, double, Morel over 1.5 total bases, and Morel over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Next game up for us going to be the Orioles heading to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, one of the hottest teams out there, 6-1 start off the season. Orioles at 4-2. They take 2 out of 3 in both series. They take 2 out of 3 against the Angels and 2 out of 3 against the Royals. And the only games they didn't win is they struggled to score. I think they put up 1 run in each of those losses. So when the bats are flying, this team wins. And when the bats ain't, they don't, right? So Grayson Rodriguez pitched well his first time out against Mr. Jones for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Both of them 1-0. Grayson's ERA just a little over 1. Jones just under 5. Just think, the Pirates are a nice story on how they've started out. I'm not going to question that whatsoever. The better team overall is the Orioles. If they play the Orioles 100 games, the Orioles are probably going to win close to 70 of those on there. Now, in the opening line on this was the Orioles only around a minus 135 favorite. So when we got a team that we think would beat them heads up 70% of the time, and we're only paying $1.35, a lot of value we think there. So we will take the Orioles money line, -1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 on the run line. Orioles over the team total. Orioles -0.5 run first 3, 5, and 7 innings. And then we're going to run with left-handed bats here against the righty. Gunnar Henderson home run, Henderson double, Gunnar over 1.5 total bases and over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Anthony Santander, the switch hitter, he's had some power, but just not a lot of hits at the plate. So Santander home run, Santander double, over 1.5 total bases, and over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup, we think, there. Obviously, American League, National League playing against each other. But the Orioles, like I said, their batting lineup, they're normally going to put up 5+. They're going to put up 5-6 runs a night and then have those blips of like ones. The Pittsburgh's going to have to come to score. I don't think they've got enough offense to go against Grayson Rodriguez. So therefore, we like the Orioles. So we'll go through those Orioles plays one more time for you. Orioles money line, -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Orioles over the team total. Orioles -0.5 run, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Gunnar Henderson home run, double, over 1.5 total bases, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Santander home run, double, over 1.5 total bases, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Last game up on the board for us is going to be 7:40 Eastern, 4:40 out here in Phoenix. We've got the White Sox going against the Royals. Don't let the record fool you. It was 2-4 going into Thursday night's game here, but the Royals should have been 5-1 if not for the bullpen. They had leads going in to, I think, three of the games that they lost. They had leads going into the 8th inning. And bullpen did give those up and had multi-run leads to boot. Will Smith boots one away against the Orioles to let them sneak in the back door and win one. We got Fetty going against Brady Singer. Brady Singer looked excellent against the Twins his first time out. We expect kind of the same here. The White Sox are one of the worst teams in the league here. This is where you're going to find the Royals as a favorite. Not the most comfortable position all the time, especially when they're a big favorite. They're around a $1.70, $1.80 favorite. But the White Sox are just that bad. And the Royals, I think, can get some things going here. So batting prop-wise, Bobby Witt's always got to be in the mix. And Hunter Renfroe actually has for limited plate appearances, has a really good that going there. And then Miguel Garcia has been at the top of that lineup. It's been pretty deadly. So we're going to be on 3 guys on player props. So let's get through this here for you. Royals, money line, -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Royals over, it should be 4.5 team total when it's available. Royals -0.5 run, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Bobby Witt double, homer, over 1.5 total bases, over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ hits for Bobby Witt. Hunter Renfroe, which we mentioned, home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases. And Garcia, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and over 1.5 total bases. So one more time, we'll go through Royals, White Sox. Royals, money line, -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Royals over the 4.5 team total. Royals -0.5 run, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Bobby Witt, double, homer, 2+ total bases, over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs combined, also for 2+ hits. And then we like Hunter Renfroe, homer, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, over 1.5 total bases. And then Miguel Garcia as well, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and over 1.5 total bases. So at the end of every show that we do on YouTube, in the comments section, there will be a link to our Google Sheet. This is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we took those at, how many units we placed, what book we placed those at as well. So make sure you do check that out. And if you're into multiple sports, awesome, so are we. So we've got baseball that we went through in this broadcast here. Also a lot of basketball going on right now. Golf, Formula One are always going on. Then we've got UFL if you're into springtime football. We'll have plays there as well. So tons of different bets. Make sure you check all those out. We've got a lot of bets. We're a volume better, and using the Google Sheet as a reference is a great way to do it there. So make sure you do check out those Google Sheets in that link. And as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, makes life really simple to find us. Once you hit that subscribe button, we'll be in your subscriptions tab. And if you want to make life even easier, turn those notifications on for YouTube, and you'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.